So Marianne Williamson is running for president once again. She tried to run back in 2020 and she did not get the Democrat nomination. We actually interviewed her on our African Diaspora News channel to question her about, reparations and many different things that she said she wanted to do. Well, she is trying to run again in 2024, even though I don't really see her becoming the nominee, but she's running. And Marcel Dixon started to question her. Now, we've had Marcel on the show on African Diaspora News channel. He was running for Congress at the time, against Jim Crow Clyburn. Well, Marcel went to ask her some questions, and Marianne did not like the questions that Marcel was asking her. Let's go ahead and roll.
I am a Jew. What Jews right now are getting reparations?
The Jews who are Holocaust survivors.
Now is true. What?
The Jews who are Holocaust survivors.
But they're not getting reparations from the American government.
Me, a descendant of American slaves, haven't seen a penny yet. At the end of slavery, and I know you probably know these numbers, $42 to $84 trillion was the value of those of us who were enslaved. And I like the fact that you're running on reparations, but you have $1 trillion as the amount, and that is insultingly low. And I understand that you may have to make it palatable to the American public, but if we want to do what's right, we got to do what's right. And the amount that we are owed is at $70 trillion minimum. If you just do $1 trillion, they said in the 20th century, Black Americans lost $400 billion in just land theft alone. That doesn't go to Jim Crow. That doesn't go to being left from the Homestead Act that gave white Americans $10 trillion and 300 acres. So I love the fact that you're running a reparations plan, but your plan is going to have to get those numbers right. It's got to be lineage based, and the money needs to go directly to us. Because when the Japanese Americans got their money, it didn't go to a council, it went straight to them. Those Holocaust survivors, that money goes straight to them.
That's right.
We deserve to have even more so.
Yeah, so let me say a couple of things. First of all, I honor how you stand up for your ancestors, and I stand up for mine. The United States has not paid $1 of reparations to Jews for the Holocaust. That is number one. And by the way, as far as some of the things you said about Roosevelt, which was true about his treatment of black people, he didn't do well by the Jews during the 2 years when Hitler said they could still leave. So I will not stand here while anti-Semitic tropes are repeated. That's
not anti-Semitic, that's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth. Holocaust survivors are getting reparations. That is not anti-Semitic, that's the truth. And I will continue to do so, and standing up for my ancestors means speaking the truth. Holocaust survivors did get 14 trillion facilitated. That is a fact. That is a fact. I don't know what it meant. All I know that my ancestors have not gotten a penny. My ancestors have not gotten a penny. That's all I know. And it's an insult for the American government to facilitate a facilitation of payment to Holocaust survivors while my great-grandfather is still alive and he fought to save the Jews from the Nazis.
Excuse me. It is because I'm Jewish that I feel so strongly about reparations.
And I feel strongly about reparations for my people too.
Right here,
Obama administration has awarded $12 million for assistance to Holocaust survivors. This happened in October 2015. I don't lie, and I know my information.
You know what, Marcel, this is not right. This is not right. Actually, I'm more than glad to.
You cut me off. I was talking, and you cut me off saying it was anti-Semitic. That's not what it was. I was telling the truth. I was telling the truth. You cut me off and accused me of being anti-Semitic. I'm speaking up for my answers. I'm telling the truth, and I don't care who doesn't want to hear it.
The United States has not given $1.
The facts disagree with you.
The United States has not given
The facts disagree with you.
Marianne just really showed her true colors. I mean, when Marcel was talking about the history and pressing her on some things, she immediately went to the anti-Semitic trope that they like to throw on people when people just kind of challenge them on some things. It was just a difference of, opinion and fact. I mean, Marcel did pull up. Barack Obama did give Holocaust survivors some money before he left office. That is the truth.
Because to the American public, but if we want to do what's right, we got to do what's right. And the amount that we are owed is at $70 trillion minimum. If you just do $1 trillion, they said in the 20th century, Black Americans lost $400 billion in just land theft alone. That doesn't go to Jim Crow. That doesn't go to being left from the Homestead Act that gave white Americans $10 trillion and 300 acres. So I love the fact that we're on a reparations plan, but your plan is going to have to get those numbers right. It's got to be lineage based, and the money needs to go directly to us. Because when the Japanese Americans got their money, it didn't go to a council, it went straight to them. Those Holocaust survivors, that money goes straight to them.
That's right.
We deserve to have even more so.
The United States was instrumental in getting Germany to pay Jewish people reparations for what happened during the Holocaust. We have not been paid anything for our American Holocaust. That's all Marcel is saying. Like, why would you get upset about that? I mean, come on, you start asking questions. Is that only a small number came to the United States of America, and with the help that the United States gave them, the creation of Israel and all of that, that's a lot of help. If we was given that same help, we would be in a better position as well. If we were left alone to raise our families and do what we need to do and not be harassed by the police and not our kids not being messed over in the school system, we would be in the same position as well. So she knows better than that. And then for her to be presenting, she wants to present a reparations plan, but the reparations is clearly, not even scratching the surface on what it could be for Black Americans. But for me, she played her hand, and I wasn't voting for Democrats anyway, because Democrats, just really, lost me, just the things they've done. I mean, please. You couldn't get me to vote for those people. You watch my podcast, I even said at this point, you vote for Democrats, you're a straight up raccoon at this point, because Democrats have really disrespected Black people. Democrats have done Black people so wrong, it is utterly ridiculous. But Marianne, like I said, she, in my opinion, she's just not the person that people thought she was. Let me know what y'all think about, Marianne Williamson just snapping off on Marcel, calling him anti-Semitic. I said, boy, I tell you, it's like, you corner them a little bit, and boy, sometimes they end up caring to come right on out.